I decided to do a story on the Platinum Belt in South Africa a couple of weeks before the strike broke out. And then when the strike broke out, I thought, well, maybe some of this could get into the film I'm doing, and change the film completely. It's changed me completely. It's a real-time story, shot over 7 days, and we go day by day leading up to the actual shootings. I suppose what makes this film very unique is while it's forensic in its approach, we're not relaying those in words, we're showing it.
Good morning, it's Friday 10th of August 2012. Allegedly illegal gathering by rock drill operators.
It's 6 days before the massacre. The mining company, Lonmin, is filming the miners as they gather outside the mine. A Lonmin security guard reports everything he sees.
Group allegedly wants to march to the LPD building to speak to management with regards to salary and certain packages.
A group of mine workers who embarked on an unofficial strike, an unprotected strike, because their trade union wasn't willing to take their wage demands forward. And all of a sudden the bosses decided that they weren't going to talk to this group of mine workers, that somehow they didn't know these group of mine workers, and they broke their own policy to try and resolve this through dialogue, and sought to criminalise the dispute and get more and more police on site, and to get the police and the government, to convince the government to assist them in breaking the strike.
Manje sibe sizocela ke ukuthi asizanga sithi sizolibamba kodwa sinenkinga, inkinga yethu yilezi zinto eniziphethe azikho emthethweni. Manje mayibeke nifuna kuhamba ngiqala umuntu ngamunye anginikeze lezi zinto. Hop, lalelani ke, lalelani.
Lo into lo thina lapha kanina. Thina cela lokuhamba lapha lo ndawo thina hlala. Ngifuna ukuthi alondela thina hamba. Ngenye lento thina cela, thina ilwile.
Number one. Nina maphoyisa straight. Thina khona lapha ka-Road Main. Thina lungisa lo marika thina lapha Road Main. Thina jopha phasi mgodi. Thina iyilwa nalo munye moto. Thina khona lo into lo thina funa.
Up until then, no mine workers had been killed by police. No mine workers had been killed by mine security. They were simply going to one of the shafts, one of the mines, to see if workers were working, and on their return they were stopped.
This group of miners were walking slowly, deliberately. From the video footage you see, they don't seem to pose any threat. Suddenly, you see tear gas being fired by one of the Nyalas.
Hey, sithi baba, ngifuna imkhonto. Ngifuna imkhonto. Phela. Yonke into ene manje mangingatholi imkhonto, ngeke ngimdedele.
This group of miners were walking slowly, deliberately. From the video footage you see, they don't seem to pose any threat. Suddenly, you see tear gas being fired by one of the Nyalas, some shots fired. They get ignored. They just keep going. And there's a line of police jogging alongside them on the one side. There's armored vehicles. Keeps going.
The following day they sent in a hostage negotiator. Nobody was being kept hostage, so it was very bizarre that we had a hostage negotiator sent in who couldn't speak the local language, and but he was sent in, and the scene for me resembles something like the first point of colonial contact, that somehow these workers were barbarians, were savages. They couldn't be trusted to be spoken to face without serious protection on the side of the police.
Okay, stop. He's asking, can you turn the motor off so we can talk? We need to tell him we cannot.
To be heard over the noise of the running engine, strike leader Manbush climbs onto the armoured vehicle to talk to the police hostage negotiator.
Thank you. Thank you.
Macintosh, what's your name? Kamala.
The mine workers were clear by the morning of the 16th, the morning the massacre took place, that the company was not prepared to talk any longer, that the police were prepared to take action against them. They were assembling on a common land, on a hillock, they call a mountain, and refusing to go back to work and refusing to drop down their arms. Now this means the police could define their gathering as illegal, as they were armed with traditional cultural weapons, fighting sticks, spears, machetes, pungas as we call them. And the police used that opportunity to say, well, this is a security situation now, it's got nothing to do with the labour dispute, and we're taking over. And the night before, they decided to embark on a disperse and disarm strategy. What they did is they rolled out the razor wire and attempted to encircle the miners. The miners then decided that they could see this heavy show of force, these guns coming out, and that they would leave the kopje at that moment. And but they were stopped. They were corralled towards a line of policemen who had their guns cocked and were ready to fire. They were shot at, which led them to stop their very slow walking pace into a jog, and the next thing they were gunned down. police knew from the air, one of the air commanders, according to his statement, 16 people had been killed. He saw that quite quickly, 2 minutes after that first firing. But despite that information, they continued to hunt and kill miners in execution style for the following 20 minutes. So it all paints a very damning picture, a very concerning picture about what's happening to South African democracy, because if we can't keep the police accountable, if we can't keep our government accountable, if we can't check the power of these corporations to run roughshod over the rights of our people, then South African democracy is in a very, very scary place. It's seriously under threat.